one of the things that like the relationship between Liv and Mike has really developed since the start of the series. You guys are like kind of have that rapid fire, like, his girl Friday dialogue. Do you guys remember the first time you met and formed that kind of rapport?
I mean, the very first time we met Corey, and again, if your memory is different, let me know. Um, did we meet in the room outside? No, we met in the room in Chris's office with the director, David Dobkin, about 4 hours before the table read.
Table read. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we had sort of a 4 hour kind of rehearsal time to kind of get to know each other a bit. Yeah.
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 No, I think, one of the things that worked immediately between the two of us, when I was back doing theater, I had a director by the name of Jerry Zaks who, when I was doing Smokey Joe's, he was talking about learning to pass the ball
Mm.
as a talent, and when you have gifts and you can hold an audience in your hand, you still have to be able to pass the ball. And I feel like Liz and I have mastered the ability to unselfishly pass the ball. I mean, if we were playing basketball, we would probably never take shots because we'd just be constantly doing passes to one another in different ways. But I
I
think
would really like to see that, Corey. I would like
that
to
would
see our
be
characters
fantastic, would it
playing
not? Like,
play basketball.
yeah, absolutely. We'll have Chris write that in. But I think that's what really kind of like we're kind of connected in a way, comedy wise. Our rapport is so similar. We have similar views on things, so it's easy to bounce back and forth and pass that ball. So that started kind of immediately.
Yeah, it did. Even before Corey and I even knew each other at all. Corey, I was thinking about this the other day. When we were shooting the pilot, I don't think you and I sat down and had like a full on conversation until our last day when we were shooting the funeral scene
Yes.
for
When we
Sam
were standing
Hodges.
out there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Yes, we were actually having a
Yeah,
conversation. Well,
because I
I
remember
think part.
we
Go
sat
ahead.
we sat in our character's SUV and just started shooting the shit.
And
And I was like,
talking
"Oh, this is so funny that we're getting to know each other on our
as
last
it's
day,
ending.
and
Yeah,
who knows when we're going to see each other." But yeah,
if we would, I mean, I was very confident that the show was going to be picked up, but yeah, I mean, that was a time, and I think we didn't spend a lot of time getting to know each other while we were filming because a little known fact, when we shot the pilot with David, we didn't rehearse any scenes before we filmed them. Literally, we did not rehearse them. We would come in and he'd be like, "Okay, so you're kind of over there and you're kind of over there and let's get weird." So, we had most of us had not worked like that before. And I think it created some spontaneity within the pilot that led to its success, but at the same time it was kind of unnerving for actors who have spent so much time about and been focused on being prepared, getting prepared, are you prepared, and then to just kind of be thrown in like that was kind of wild. So yeah, we didn't have a lot of time to converse because we were like, what are we doing, man? Are we rolling? Are we rolling?
yeah.
We're filming. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Let's go. you know
One of the things I love about, like, Liz, you get girls' night in the first half of the season. You get to hang out with the rest of the cast and kind of like play off the rest of the women in Patience. How is it filming that episode and kind of exploring those relationships?
Oh, that episode was intense. And I just have to mention, Sam, there was one thing that really mattered to me personally about my character, and that is originally in the girls' night episode, Liv was supposed to be drinking with everyone else, but they also have Liv, with her like poor old car that keeps like breaking down or whatever. And I was like, I don't want my character to drink because I do not think she would drink and drive like ever.
mm,
So my character is actually sober in that. But what I liked about doing that episode was intense.
Hmm.
There was a lot going on. Um, just like in the episode, and there was some stuff going on in some of our personal lives that was really intense at that time. And so it was really amazing, and it was kind of overwhelming because the in episode 3, the girls' night, and in episode 8, which is the party at the cabin, a bunch of us got to work together, and we don't always get to work together with so many of the other cast. So to not only get to work with so many other characters slash actors, but also to get to work with so many women. And we're changing locations, and it was fun. I'm glad you guys got to see Liv dance, even if she's not a very good dancer. I thought that was important for you to see a little bit more of what she's like when she's not at work, and maybe not feeling a bit intimidated or insecure around Mike.
Sure. And in terms of intensity, I mean, we see some like really personal, vulnerable areas for Sheriff Mike, including his past, like back in DC and everything. Like, how is it taking this like unflappable lawman and getting into the things that keeps him up at night?
Yeah, I felt like that was kind of really important, to add that dimension to Mike. I think it'd be very easy, to play one beat with him, but I felt like you can get away with him being as cantankerous and as kind of bullyish if you find a way for the audience to not blame him for how he is. And so the best way to do that was to reveal to the audience what is that just under the surface of Mike is a lot of pain, and he does everything he can to put armor on and keep people at bay, because he doesn't want to address that pain. But I think him opening up to Deputy Liv was a reflection of this new expansion of trust with her in particular. But I think also he just couldn't hold it in anymore. As Liz was saying, sometimes we have these things that overlap in our personal lives that take place with our professional lives, and it gives us an avenue to tap into, to make the performances more organic and more fluid and more natural. And so in that instance with Mike, it was very personal. I mean, I wrote a lot of that monologue myself. So it was very intense. I was a little nervous about it at first because I wasn't quite sure how the audience would respond to seeing him break at that level. But I think if anything, it hopefully endeared him more to the audience to see that he's not just a dick. He's
so much more than
softy.
just a dick.
He's so much more than just a dick. Put that on a t-shirt.
And I think I got time for the quickest of actually I don't know if I have time. So I'm just gonna say thanks for taking the time and to speak with me today, and of course catch the second half of Resident Alien Season 2 on Sci-Fi on August 10th. Guys, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks,
Sam. So much, Sam. Thank you.
You got it, brother.